And welcome back. Thanks as always for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We are bringing up our next match. It'll be the second to last match of the evening. Let's go ahead and pull up that draw and take a look real quick. There it is. It's going to be Targa versus MC, and rounding out the night is going to be MMA versus Nerchio, a team kill. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about these players. Targa, he's one of those players who a lot of people have very strong opinions of, kind of both ways. I've heard people talk about Targa Banelings. They've talked about Targa Cheese, but I watched the games that he played qualifying here. I know you commentated them. I didn't see a whole lot of Cheese. I saw some pretty rock-solid play out of that European Zerg.
Yeah, no, it's across all matchups, really, that he's able to bring out really, really strong, I would say more mid-game focus than anything. There are obviously leans onto the late game eventually, but it's more about doing damage in the mid-game, trying to cripple their opponents there and then, and it works out really well for him.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a quick little video to show you about Targa. Let's go there now. Let's stay on.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm used to this kind of thing happening. I promise you guys that video will be played soon. Let's talk. Oh, we're ready now. Let's go to that. Wait 1 second. Ready? Awesome. You did a great job on that. Let's go to that Targa video now.
I'm Targa. I'm from Norway, a big city called Stavanger. And I'm a programmer for Team Dignitas.
Not enough critical damage anymore by the Stalkers, and now they're getting surrounded by Queens and Rulers. GG, well played!
I moved to Australia a couple years ago to study. I wasn't thinking about playing Starcraft, but I thought that I might play in a few local tournaments and so on, get some friends. It ended up being like a big surprise to me, because that scene was, it was somewhat professional, and they had a few guys that were playing full-time, but these guys were actually pretty good. I studied business for almost 2 years, but the studies, they weren't the right thing for me. Then something happened. I qualified for WCS Scandinavia or Norway. So when I decided to drop everything and go for full-time pro gaming, I had talked about it with my parents and so on. My mom was a bit against it, but my dad understood that if you're good at something and you want to pursue that dream or whatever, you should go for it.
Targa is going to crush this attack.
So many force fields were expended that early on that he just wasn't able to seal off every other avenue. And now Targa holds Wellmu.
Oh my god, Queen survives. As you said, man, Kalaris, you said it right. He's really good at defending this type of attacks.
For this tournament, this round of 16, I was a big underdog. Now, happy. I was very, very confident against him.
Targa's looked great, all WCS system long in terms of dealing with Terrans, and this really shows why he is that good against them. And Happy has not really brought it just yet, and he's going to try and do some damage with intelligence, but once they can't get in, GG.
And he's a good player, and I think that mostly says like the confidence I have in myself. For Velmu and Stardust, these are players that I beat regularly on the ladder. Tournament is way different. I think they get a lot more nervous than I do. But first or second doesn't matter too much for me. I was very confident that I was going to make it to the round of 8 this time.
All right, and welcome back. An excellent video on Targa there. And next up, we have another player that he's pretty well known, I suppose. I guess he's won a game or two of StarCraft 2. It is, of course, the Boss Toss that we're talking about. This guy has been winning tournaments since some of you have been wearing diapers, maybe. If you're watching this at age 5, it's possible. And you're wearing diapers at age 2. I'm actually in a terrible rut right now. Why don't you go ahead and just tell me about Boss Toss?
Well, he's actually been looking really, really good this season, got to admit. I mean, he looked good in Season 2, but in season 3, it's like, you know, he kind of got a kick in the balls, and now he's here for Blood. And again, you know, one of the favorites of the tournament, a lot of people pegging MMA, the favorite, MC's also there, and I think Targa's going to have a hard time dealing with the ever-aggressive Protoss.
Now, MC's been in Germany, I believe, living with his manager, Minsick, right? So he's been preparing here for a while. I know that when he enters a tournament, the expectation is top 2, top 3, maybe. But he's been having a bit of a tough go at it, WCS. I mean, how do you like his odds here playing Targa first and let's say with the other 7 players, or 6?
I think that for MC, if there's a few Protoss that do end up getting eliminated either side in the bracket, then I think he has a really good shot. His versus Zerg's really good. His versus Terran, you see a lot of him going for very aggressive builds because of the SCV pulls that come into the metagame as of late. So if he doesn't have to go up against too many Protoss, which can swing either way for him, I think he's got a really good chance.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we put together a little quick video of MC. Let's go there now.
MC just walks over Baby Knight there, and he kills the army, will probably kill the Nexus as well as the probes, and wow, wow, wow.
In StarCraft 1, I'm playing well, but in StarCraft 1, only focusing Pro League. So I get big news, StarCraft 2 is coming and GSL is coming. That prize money, and I think it's new chance for me. So I changed StarCraft 2 and try working hard and enjoying, so I will be good.
It looks like it's still going to be a victory for the boss toss here. Baby Knight's trying to do everything he can, but what can he really do here? GG.
When I enjoying StarCraft 2, I'm really good, but when I world of best StarCraft 2 player, so I think boring. Who can beat me? So just no practice anymore and no enjoy. So I'm going down.
Thorzain is going to break through. The bio has killed off absolutely everything. And Thorzain marches forwards to victory. MC has nothing left. GG.
My manager told me get some practice and look some world, sky and ground. Because when I thinking just, when I lose, what can I do? Retire programmer or what? So can't focusing playing. So I'm just enjoying now.
This is brilliant. He's crossing the T. He's negating the damage and the presence of these bunkers at the side and just going to walk straight on in, killing one bunker off and laying waste to this natural position. GG, well played.
And we are back. Thank you. So MCvsTargA. Both these players have a lot to prove. You kind of saw it in both their interviews. Targa hasn't really been this far in this big of a tournament, but here he is, and he considers himself one of the favorites. MC, a past champion, but he's been struggling lately. Both those players don't have their headsets on. Claris, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's going to win this one?
Targa 3-1.
Wow, you did that a lot faster than I expected. You didn't even struggle.
That's fine.
You 3-1 that statement, actually. You aced
Thanks.
it. All right, very good. Okay. I'm going to play the other side. So you say Targa 3-1. Why? What do you think about this pairing gives you the favor to Targa?
Throughout the two seasons, we haven't really seen MC go up against that many Zergs. The only Zergs he's had to play against in recent memory in WCS has been Firecake, which he did defeat 2-0 in Season 3. But in Season 2, the one Zerg he fell to 2-0 was Vortex. Now, Vortex and Targa, for me, are two players that are very, very good at stopping very strong aggression from their opponents. Targa very rarely dies to it, if ever. And from there, Targa can play any style he likes. So once Targa gets to that mid game, I think he's got a very good chance against MC.
Okay, now that's a pretty big if you say, because I know that MC has carried himself through a lot of big tournaments from all the way to the top, GSL, and everything in between, off of that strong mid-game play. He was one of the guys who, myself as a Protoss player, would look to and be like, damn, those are perfect force fields. He's had that at his disposal for a long time here. So you say 3-1 Targa. I'm going to play a little bit of the devil's advocate and say MC maybe 3-1, 3-2, because I feel like his strength in that mid game is really hard for Zergs to overcome. But we'll have to wait and see, because this is going to be close. I hope it's good. You know what? Could go either way. Could be close or could not be close. Take that one, Universe, you son of a beeswax. All right. I don't know what our language filter is like here. We're going to go over to the commentators now. It is Apollo and Grubby.
Well, thank you, In Control. You are one of a kind, of course. You're doing a marvelous job today. But it's now our turn to take over, to do some commentary here for this next upcoming game. I'd like to just start this off with what a touching interview that was with MC. He's got some thick skin, but there's definitely a soft side to him.
Yeah, I mean, you really can get in that situation where when you're winning a lot of stuff, you foolishly say, "Who can challenge me?" And then someone comes and you're like, "Nah, like I kind of liked it actually on top."
Well, MC, you know, the point through his career was basically just traveling to events without practicing, just winning money left and right, winning tournaments, and it makes sense, doesn't it? But now he does go up against TarGA. MC is motivated, but likewise is TarGA here.
Yeah, and TarGA never want to be intimidated by his opponent. He has a lot of self-confidence, and that's very, very important in a mental game like StarCraft 2. Now, game between these two is going to be really interesting. TarGA famously defeated Ace and Oz at an IEM open bracket, 2 Korean Protosses. Now against MC. Oh!
Good sportsmanship by the both players here.
I mean, after all, they're 2 gentlemen going to play a game of StarCraft.
That's what we do. We, you know, manly handshake with a bit of a hug, just to soften up the blow for when you win after.
Or soften up the opponent. Like, oh, that's actually a pretty nice guy. I shouldn't go too hard on him.
I don't want to cheese him. No, not after that. But one thing to note, Grubby, is we saw TarGA's success here in the WCS and the Europe Premier League initially versus Naniwa in the group stage in round of 32. His practice partner for that game against Naniwa, have a guess who that was?
MC.
It was MC.
Oh.
MC taught him basically how to play against Naniwa's Void Ray style. Naniwa at that point was very dominating, playing a very dominating style with that Void Ray play. MC said, all right, I know all your flaws. I've played against you a lot. Just come with me a little bit and let me show you how to beat him.
Follow me into this dark alley and
he showed him everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of important for these two going up against each other now, because a player that helps another one improve, and I know you've done a lot of this in the past, you know their flaws, you know where they're weak at, because you're obviously the one improving
Yes,
them.
that's actually quite true. Because you guided their learning process. And you're standing there looking at it from above, you're guiding their learning process, but maybe you didn't tell them everything, or you did tell them everything, but you learned new things, and you know kind of where they're at, so you can be a step ahead.
Yeah, we'll see, won't we, in this series? It should be a good one. I mean, just based off that alone, we'll find out here. But TarGA does come into this as an underdog, and throughout the entire of the season has pretty much been an underdog when it was in the round of 32, when it was in the round of 16, even though in most of the winners' interviews, he's like, no, Red, I'm not an underdog, and looked at himself as a favorite. But you did point that out. Confidence is going to be a very important factor going up against a player like MC.
Yeah, you got to imagine yourself being able to do something before you actually can do it, in most cases. So that's step 1 already for him. MC probably doesn't suffer from underconfidence either.
Sometimes some may say, you know, suffers from overconfidence.
Do you guys know he used to be known as the suicide toss in Brood War?
I did know that. I don't know if anyone else did, though.
So you want to tell the story? You tell the story.
Well, he was a player that played in Pro League, actually mentioned it just now in his interview, who was a player so confident in himself. He would go onto stage and have his thumb across his throat with the death thing, but he'd go in and lose. So they called him the suicide toss.
Yeah. But that's where it started. That was the birth of MC as we know him. But eventually he did that, and he really did draw a thumb across the imaginary throat of the
He's done it across a lot of players with the Idra. He's been the Undertaker. Remember it when Pro League first came out? I think it was Pro League was the Undertaker.
I thought it was GSL selection process, but
I'm
maybe
not sure
you're right.
Something along those lines. It was absolutely hilarious. But now these two are going to fight it out for our 3rd best of 5 today. Who's going to be the 3rd semi-finalist to join the 2 already through? Dignitas versus SK, TarGA versus MC. And it is time for this next game. And up here,
ho, 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 to the top right.
To the top right is the Big Santa playing as the Red Zerg. It's TarGA. And then spawning down here at the bottom right of Whirlwind, our first map of a potential 5. Playing for SK as the Blue Protoss, it's MC.
Or Little Santa.
Or Little Santa. So we talked a little bit, Grubby, about how these players know each other, they practice against each other. Look at what we have for as an opening from TarGA.
Wow. 4-player map. MC is scouting clockwise, not counterclockwise, and that's gonna It's going to be a little disappointing for him because TarGA is going for a 10 pull. A 10 pull, so he wants to get under MC's skin really early. TarGA played very macro-heavy games in the ZVPs that he played so far. And now, the cheesiest thing a cheesy player can do, Artosa said, is to macro.
Yep.
And the cheesiest thing a macro player can do is to cheese. And here we go. MC going for an early forge, though.
A double scout, though, here. Early forge and double scout.
Okay.
But, I mean, surely, I mean, potential of a cannon rush, but upon what he sees here with such an early forge, is this a position where he could potentially hold his front?
I think so. I think what you need to do is make 2 cannons right away when you see it. Now he sees the absence of a hatchery. Now he's starting to think, hey, is this an early pull? Soon he will see the Zerglings. There we see. Now he needs a probe at the natural already, actually. That's what he would have liked to, make double cannons. Because doing a full wall off, you can't make it in time. They'll break through, and then you still don't have your cannons. So
TarGA doesn't even know where he is. He hasn't scouted. I mean, he doesn't know if he's bottom left or bottom right. Which way does he really go with these Zerglings? And at this point, TarGA's invested in this 10 pull. He is going to send 4 of 6. No, 3 of 5. I don't know where the 6th one is, but he's sending 3 down to the bottom right here. But this cannon is very close to completing.
Okay, and MC has a probe there on hold position. 1 probe will go down, 2nd probe will go down.
And he's got a wall off here, Grubby. And now the Zerglings can't do anything. The Zergling speed that's been researched here, and MC says, all right.
What up?
What up? Exactly, what up? And from this position, just, I mean, does TarGA just try to play a normal game here? Does he try to Baneling bust this? I mean, MC's going to throw down his Nexus surely very, very soon.
I don't know. He's going double gas already. I think what he says now is like, if I go for a Nexus now, you're going to do either a lot of drones and then I can't attack you for a while and I don't really like that, or maybe you do a follow-up bust. How about I pretend I did a gateway expansion this game? Just go for Cybercore, he went for double gases, and he knows that TarGA doesn't know if he has a Nexus or not. TarGA is going to work under false assumptions that there's a Nexus coming out. And here we go. What is MC going to do? 4-gate? Stargate? It can be anything. This is like a gateway expand, but with TarGA being behind.
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to be able to get any information if he pokes up the ramp, so the only really way is this Overlord here, and it is headed towards the natural. If TarGA's able to spot the lack of Nexus,
that should help him make smart decisions.
Well, this probe inside the main base is going to get picked off here. I don't think it's too much of a big thing here. MC will want to send something out here, but look at this Overlord. A very smart decision not to keep it, not to play by assumptions. Look, he's going in. That's a very smart move there. A lot of Zerg players will just keep the Overlord around, just play, as you said, how the game should usually play out. Yeah. But TarGA goes in here and says, hold on a minute, you. You don't have a Nexus.
Yeah. Now, MC sends a probe there, but is it a real Nexus probe? I think it might be, because he's making sentries.
Yeah.
But it might also be a cancel. You know what? I think he's just going to make a Nexus and then maybe cancel it and go 5-gate. It could be possible.
Yeah.
But TarGA, he knows that's a possibility. Either way, I don't think TarGA's going to make a 3rd hatchery soon. Okay. That would be really risky.
Well, I think he just sent out a drone. And I think he may try. Obviously, very, very risky here. If it's able to work, it's going to set him in a wonderful position. Okay. But, I mean, there's obviously mind games going on through both of them, saying, well, does MC now cancel it and go for what he wants to do? Does TarGA now think that it's going to stay there? Does he think it's going to get cancelled? There's a lot of information that is missing.
Yeah.
And they may try to play around it. But to be honest, with the Stargate coming down, Chronoboost going into the Nexus, and TarGA going for a third hatchery himself.
Yeah, so it ends up being the right decision for TarGA.
Now, but it could have been deadly.
It could have been deadly, yes. But maybe he felt like he can just use it only for production and don't put drones on the 3rd. And maybe you do need that 3rd hatchery. So anyway, let's take a look at what's happening. TarGA's next Overlord is coming in from the left side. It's swooping in. And in about 20 seconds or 10 seconds, he will get confirmation that this Nexus has not been and will not be cancelled.
Well, that would be good for him to go to Drone City and build those drones to his 3rd base. But we do have Hallucinated Phoenix here coming out from MC. Just kind of get a feel of the game. Like, all right, well,
where are you at?
Yeah, where am I in this game? Because I dealt with the early aggression. There's a lot of drones on the natural. There's a Roach roaring down. All right, what else do I see? There's, all right, no layer yet. Just not taking a 2nd gas. Okay, obviously not in the best of position when he sees this 3rd hatchery coming down.
Yeah.
And he has seen a lot of drones here, and he knows that there's going to be more and more drones coming. What do you think that's going through MC's mind upon gathering all this information?
Well, I saw him clicking the Roach Warren, so he knows that he can't just move out with any number of gateways now and attack. And he saw the amount of drones, and he's a little bit behind on schedule there. So what's going through his mind, I think, is that he can't really get anything done in the next minute or two. He can't expand, he can't attack. So that's why he gets his gases, and he's thinking about he's thinking about his plan now. He's not upgrading Forge right now, so it's not going to be like a Blink all-in or a massive Gate all-in. If that was the case, he would be upgrading his Forge. So maybe he's going to make a Robo soon and just go for a delayed expansion, try to keep getting information about what the opponent's doing. I don't know.
When I was able to watch and commentate MC versus Jaedong at the Season 2 Finals, MC was put in a very bad position in the early game. And he said, all right, I'm just going to play the game out and I will take it long and I'll find a different way to get back into it. And this is what it may be looking at this moment. He's got these Phoenixes, he's trying to do a bit of damage.
Yeah.
And if he's been able to do it in the past,
then it could happen again. That was such an odd game. It was on Whirlwind too.
Yeah.
And MC just ended up with this giant gateway army. Zealots, Sentry, Stalkers, and it looks like he wasn't going anywhere, but just by the skin of his teeth, staying alive. And I always say staying alive is the first step to winning, because otherwise you can't win anymore.
That is true, Grubby. Some knowledge bombs right there. As we do have the Robo coming down from MC, so it does look like he is, trying to set up a regular play. And it is all going to come down to these Phoenixes. How much damage can they do? How much information can they gather? Because the Hydralisk Den is now down, and I think he has seen it. He has seen it, in fact. So he does now know that the threat of a big Roach Hydra play is imminent. It has to come soon.
Yeah, and there we go with the Overlord explosion. 6 Overlords coming. It's gonna rocket him into the supply space, and then he can start using a lot of units. And as he sees this move out, I think that's exactly what he's gonna do. Max Hydras followed up by Max Roaches, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be at this point. Look at the creep spread just angling downwards. It's not really been spread out. It's just coming down. We actually have both speed upgrades for Roaches and the Hydralisk coming in. MC must know that this is a very regular play. But what does he need to do? Does he just need to get to Colossus some way? Do the Phoenixes need to do something here? Because this time in 15 Hydralisks.
Yeah, and is he going to pull him up the Spore Crawler first, or is he going to lose him? Very nice there. The basics have been taken care of by Targa. He's observing the courtesies, the rules of engagement. Don't send single Hydralisk down the ramp, because Phoenixes will pick them off. Here is a chance maybe to get some Hydras. Nope, there's too many already. And in fact, it's a Phoenix that will go down. 1 Phoenix for 1 Hydralisk.
And there's a lot of Zerglings coming. This could be Targa's opportunity to pick up map number 1. +1 attack is about to finish MC. That will help out a little bit here. Drones are being built behind this, by the way, so he's not committing too much to this. And we may even see a tech switch, whether it be the Spire coming down soon, whether it be Evolution Chambers coming to play for this game. But at the time being, MC needs to rely on those kind of force fields, the force field that made him the player he is today. He needs to be able to deal with this army. It's going to be difficult. Can he do it?
It looks like there's too much here for Targa. It's going to be very hard. MC doesn't have any splash damage, and the Hydras get real close and friendly.
And they're going to do a lot of damage here. The Sentry's been picked off very, very fast. Phoenixes are helping out. The Mothership Core is broken down as well. And MC's in a bit of trouble here. He is surviving for the time being, but he's lost a lot. And there's more units coming across. 34 Zerglings. The first Colossus is on its way. He's survived with three Sentries. 2 Phoenixes. He's not too far behind in army supply. Decent in the work account. But the Mothership Core loss is very important. That's a Photon Overcharge he doesn't have. That's a Time Warp he doesn't have. But he does have a Colossus, Grubby.
Yes. And there were only Zerglings and Hydralisks in the Remax from Targa. No Roaches. Zergling's gonna get in. They're not gonna get too much done. And in fact, he changes his mind.
Look at the supply difference.
How does that happen?
How does that happen? How has he been able to defend this?
A lot of infrastructure by Targa, a lot of bank. Is he really gonna save up all the way to his Spire finishing? 1 full minute of not producing anything. If he does, he can make 15 Mutalisks at once against someone who doesn't have Blink and has lost all but 2 of his Phoenixes. Does he have the patience and the guts not to make any units for the next 40 seconds? And will MC move out?
The Spire has not been scouted. The double Evolution Chamber has. That is different information that MC's been fed.
Very, very confusing. Very confusing info. You see double Evo, it's like, okay, you're going mass ground. Only drones from Targa. Very gutsy move. And we see this from Jaedong. And Targa mastering this skill too.
And he's opened up his supply 104 to 176, and we're about to see an explosion of Mutalisks here. The +1 attack is researched. 12 are on the way. MC still with no information. He's sending out 2 hallucinate Phoenix, or sorry, real Phoenixes at this point, and he's looking for information. He's all right. Well, double Evolution Chamber. Where are your ground use? Roaches, Zerglings.
I think he knows now, because normally at this moment he should see units streaming out of the natural. they should be being saved up in front. I think he knows. Now, he was already researching Blink, so no change there. There we go with Templar Archives. Templar Archives for Archons, maybe Storm.
And a cannon inside his mineral line here. And the Phoenixes have now seen it. They've definitely seen it. Phoenix production begins. He's 100% got the confirmation. But obviously there's going to be a little bit of a window maybe here for Targa to get some damage done. Stalker's getting split off. Go to the main base and then going to go to the third. Try to defend in multiple locations. Stalker's already warped in. And Blink, seconds away from finishing. A good initial, defense there from
Yes,
MC.
very important that you mentioned that, because the first defense is very important. If you start losing probes right away, it's very bad, because then it just kind of gets worse and worse. This is not a good use of Mutalisk.
And Blink is seconds away. There's a cannon there, there's Phoenixes, the Mulists are dying here, and if the Stalkers blink up north here, they're going to catch the majority of these off. Blink is now done. He actually can do it, but it doesn't matter anyway. The Phoenixes are going to clean this up, and the Mulist just ripped out of the sky. And all of a sudden, Targa has lost a lot of money there. He switched over to Roach and Zerglings, but there's 3 Colossus. There are no Corruptors in this game. They're going to rule any fight.
That was, I mean, that was a terrible usage, to be honest, of the Mutalisk. He was getting 20 and he wasted 14 to kill 3 Stalkers and a probe. And now he's losing the rest. And Target's just kind of falling apart through no fault of MC's almost. Like, MC did what he had to, but Target didn't need to commit to it like that.
And MC knows that he's killed off a lot of stuff here. And he's moving up forwards. Force fields are going to have to be good here. They do separate the Zerglings and Hydras on the left-hand side. And the Colossus, if they go untouched, which it seems to be so far, there may be one getting picked off there on the right, but I don't think so.
Nope.
And MC just cruising forward here. The Mulists come, they're not going to do anything. If there's a pylon close, Stalkers are going to be brought in. They've got their +2, they've got their Blink in traditional MC style. Known for his Blink Stalkers, known for his Colossus, known for his Force Fields, comes in and says, Targa, good start, buddy, but you're going to need more than that to be able to beat the boss toss. 44 Zerglings, 46, they're not going to be enough in the production tab to clean up this Colossus, and 3 of them stay alive. And this is just a perfect game from MC, an absolutely beautiful game from him.
Yeah, it was in a bit of a disadvantage in the early game, but played it out very, very solidly. Didn't do anything crazy, and let his opponent make the mistakes.
So is it as simple as it seems then with, looking a quick review of this game? It's Targa that is got to step it up a bit more, change up, play stronger, play harder.
Yeah, I think play a bit calmer maybe, because he was looking to get 4 bases. He had gotten his Mutalist transition without any damage, 20 Mutalists and more coming in. At this point he's mining 800 gas per minute, so he can make 8 Mutalists per minute, and he's going up against Stalkers. The more Stalkers and Mutalists, usually the better it gets for Mutalists.
Was the Mutalist switch the right point at the right time?
Well, to be honest, I think it was a little too early. I don't think he had quite the bank yet, but it can work. With Spine Crawlers at home, with Zergling Roach at home, and just hitting where MC is not.
Yeah, and I guess we have to credit the 2 Phoenixes, which saw it very early on too.
Yeah, that is true. And just, overall unit production, probes, just it was a bit risky getting his 3rd as early as he did, MC. I thought he'll make a Robo Bay first, so he can start Colossus and get a 3rd after, but he got it first, and then had to go up against 15 to 20 Hydras with only Phoenix and Gateway units.
Did very well there.
Smashed it.
Smashed it, indeed he did. And as you just saw, Belcher Vestige is going to be the next map between these 2 players in this best of 5, fighting for the chance to go on to the semi-finals here. And it is time to begin this next map between these 2 players. And we'll see who's going to pick up map number 2. As we are now ready to load in. There it is, Target on the left and MC on the right. Zerg to your left, Protoss to your right. And in the game we go. To the top left here, spawning as the red Zerg, playing for Team Dignitas. He goes by the name of Targa. And then down here to the bottom right, everybody knows this player, the highest earning StarCraft 2 player of all time, playing for SK Gaming. It's the boss toss, it's MC.
Gateway expansion from MC. With a very forward gateway. I don't know if that means he wants to be aggressive. Maybe that's just how he chooses to build it, but gateway expansion from MC. Last game he did a Forge build with scouting, maybe cannon, maybe Nexus. So that's a change. Now, Targa's going for hatch first, on a map where cannon rushing can be very cost efficient, very cheap and effective. So is Targa going to scout around, maybe expect a cannon rush? If he doesn't, that means he did his homework and made a correct assumption about how MC will be playing this map.
Yeah, that's right. That's one thing is a lot of people that don't really get StarCraft can just look at it and be like, this is a game played map by map, just, you know, not really thinking about the long process of a best of 3, 5, 7, because usually these players will come into it with a game plan from the beginning till the end. They're like, all right, well, I'll open up with a Forge Expand on map number 1 here. Belshire Vestige is map number 2, and you know the maps as you're sitting down getting ready to play. All right, so if I switch it up here and then maybe switch it up again towards the end, and you do kind of mold these plans.
Exactly. That's a very important skill, which I had to learn too when I came into StarCraft 2, because I didn't really used to think about it like that in Warcraft 3. Mostly maps were just by themselves. And in StarCraft 2, the order of the strategies you do can be almost as important as the strategies or the micro that you do or anything like that. So.
I thought you earlier on, I think it was maybe when you were within control right at the start, you brought up a really good point of your strategies that you choose can strengthen the ones you use later, depending on what information is given out to the player in the first game and so on.
Yeah, that's some people do mold their best of 5 or best of 3 plans in that fashion. Now MC has scouted that it's a hatchery first into a spawning pool with gas. He's going for a Nexus, making a sentry. So he's starting to get his gears working, comparing it to the countless of practice games that he has played in similar situations. Knowing all the timings, knowing how this is going to work out, the range of possibilities which he can apply to this game. And soon we will see the end dish that he has cooked up from all these ingredients.
That's right, and I love my meals. So I'm hoping this is going to be a delicious one, Grubby.
It's sure going to be a spicy one.
When MC's playing, I'm sure it will be. One thing to note, actually, from all the games that I've seen Targa play on, whether it be in WCS or in his personal stream, on Belshire Vestige against Protoss players, I hardly see him lose. There's a lot of, obviously, 2-base, 3-base play from Protoss. He's very articulate with his scouting. He knows the patterns and how to read into the game. He knows like the way that Protoss players would like to attack, and he's very good defensively. I think that's given him success in the past against other Protoss players. He sees it coming, he anticipates it, and is ready and waiting. And we see one of those potential scenarios right now with the 3 gateways been slapped down on the front.
Yeah. 3rd sentry coming, 4 gateways. So is he gonna move out his sentries? That's really what I'm wondering. He's most likely gonna do zealot pressure on the 3rd. But is he going to bring his sentries? Because 3 sentries is quite a lot to get at home already.
And Targa's already preparing for this. He's got his creep set just started in between the natural and the 3rd to connect these bases to make it easier for his units to flow between the both. He's already building 16 Zerglings, and the Roach Warrens come down.
Yeah, Roach Warren coming down. Yeah, and Targa's only on 33 drones. Equal now with MC. And you could say he's overproducing Zerglings, because there is no pylon on the map.
Yeah, the probe's been picked off here. 3 Spore Crawlers as well.
I think MC did a little bit of homework, Sean. I think he did some homework and said, I saw your series against Welmu. Welmu did a 4-gate pressure against Targa on Derelict Watcher, and Targa stayed, I kid you not, on 20 drones. 20. And made something like 40, 50 Zerglings. MC saw that, says, I'm going to make 4 gates, but my 4th gate is 150 mineral investment. It doesn't warrant you to make that many units early on. And then he's just sitting back. He's making his gases, he's staying at home, making a lot of sentries, saving up energy, and he is pretty untouchable if he uses Force Suits well. Now he's making a robo.
This is really, I really like his playstyle here. It's like moving out, coming back, moving out, coming back. Because he's moving out now, and with the Mothership Core with it, he's going to force units out. If there's an opportunity, absolutely go grab it, but he can easily recall back. And then with the robotics facility and Forge as the follow-up, get a nice +1 attack going, maybe even start a mortar production here, depending on what his plan is. He's slowing Target down, and as you said, keeping him away from drones. He's at 38. 38 drones, that's remarkably low.
Yeah, and that's 6 lower than what MC is on. They're both not producing workers, but MC, he can just recall out. MC is a little supply blocked, a lot.
Yeah, that's actually...
I don't think he wanted to be making probes now, but he can't warp in. And he can't start Immortal production or Observer production yet, but it's not the biggest of deals, because he's just saving up stuff.
And I think he may go for a recall here, just grabbing all his units together, sees a lot. A couple of force fields there, just making sure, I guess, he doesn't lose anything. But he recalls back and has +1 attack and blink, of course. His favorite upgrade, I think.
Yeah. There's always that 1 second when you recall out that you look at your home nexus, and in that 1 second you could lose a sentry or two to roaches. So that's why he force fielded, even though they looked a little funny.
All right, well, from this position, we have double evolution chamber coming in from Targa, who is now starting to drone back up, and he hasn't even breached the 50 mark until just about now.
He hasn't even breached tier 2.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this one, as MC really is playing with his opponent, moving out and then back and so on, and does catch 2 roaches for 4 force fields, as long as he doesn't lose that sentry.
Oh, they could get out, but decide not to.
Yep, gets both. All right, so from this position, we do have a multiple production. We have 3 extra gateways, so that's 7, +1 attack, and blink.
Yeah.
That's quite an aggressive setup. I mean, absolutely can take a 3rd base, but there is quite a beefy amount of units that he can produce from this. Targa, on the other hand, is now a decent drone count, 65 finally.
Finally, yeah.
And has the lair on the way or near completion and 1/1 upgrades. How would you address the? I mean, this kind of game is there one player that you'd be leaning towards in a bit of a better position than the other?
I think MC is in a fantastic position. Targa, as you said, finally reached his drone count, and he reached it about 3 minutes late to when he would normally like it. 3 minutes late.
Yeah.
That means only now he's going to be able to start roach speed, if he does. He hasn't yet. He's getting infestation pit. So no roach speed yet, which means it's really hard to take any fight out in the open. Force fields will be very good. And actually Targa says, screw this. If you attack me in the middle right now, I'm gonna lose. I guarantee you, if MC would have attacked instead of taking a 3rd, he would just go and win.
Yeah.
But he's playing it safe, getting his Colossus building out, getting a 3rd, and then he can do like a 2.5 base all-in or a 3 base attack. But Targa says, I'm going to go all the way. He's an extreme player, isn't he?
He is.
Going for a lot of drones.
And that's a lot of information that MC just picked up now. He's seen double evolution chamber. He saw the infestation pit. So now the 2 pathways here, most likely, are infestors or straight up to hive. Both of them does offer MC windows of opportunity to win the game.
Yeah.
Does MC, as an aggressive player that we know, look at that chance and say, well, let me get that Thermalance out, let me get that +2 out, and does he look to add on more gateways and go? From this position, he sent out another scout to, you know, check out the units again.
And there we go, 3 gates. As you said, more gates, and then maybe go when they're done. 3 Colossus should be the right amount. 3 Colossus to go with. And you know, funnily enough, if you see your opponent is going for infestors, and you were not on Colossus tech, the right thing to do would be to get Colossus. But he was already working on them before Targa made that choice. So MC doesn't need to make any awkward, uncomfortable adjustments.
Do you ever fear swarm hosts, maybe, from this, knowing that the
Always.
infestation pit's there?
Any day, including during my sleep.
Well, they do rather well for themselves in a lot of games, but MC now sending out more scouts. He should be able to click on the Zerglings to see, all right, well, they've actually upgraded themselves here. They have a melee attack, so that would lean away from the potential Swarm host play. And he goes in there, he sees the Hive morphing, and now this is looking more and more like a Ling Infestor. Infestors to hold the mid-game against a lot of timings, straight up to Ultralisks. And MC throws down extra cannons and the Temple Archives.
Okay, no second Robo yet. So he gets the Temple Archives for possibility of Vipers. And sure, Targa will get some Vipers, but as you said, I think the main part here is Ultralisk Cavern. Now getting a 7th and 8th gas. And yeah, the Infestors are just to hold the mid-game. This is a really nice move for Targa, which may help a little, but it also opens him up a little bit to a counterattack. Because these units that he's going to lose, he's not going to replace them with new Lings and Roaches. He's going to wait for Infestors and Ultralisks. Well, and actually, he is going to replace them with Lings because he's scared of a counterattack.
Yeah, he picked off 7 drones there, or 7 probes, should I say. Not too bad at all. But MC now does have his +2 attack on the way. He hasn't really started to do anything rather than increase his army value. But the Ultralisk Cavern has now been slapped down.
And Aspire.
And Aspire. And we've seen that Targa does like his Broodlords eventually. And if he has enough money, then I'm sure that's something he'll like to go towards.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Is there an opportunity for MC to get in there before the Ultralisk Cavern is ready in the Ultralisk route? Because once they are, they're going to do well for themselves. But can he get there?
Well, it does look hard. They did reduce the Ultralisk building time, but it's still too long for comfort, as it looks like for Targa right now. But the good thing for Targa is he's not going for Vipers. And MC somehow suspects Vipers, so he's getting High Templars for feedback. And since he has High Templars for feedback, he says, might as well get Psy Storm too. So he's waiting for Storm, and that buys Targa some crucial time. These run buys are also doing a very, very good job. This is not open, so he's got to send back his roaches. He cannot afford to lose them. There's also Lynx here.
On the third, isn't there? And he has managed to pick off actually no additional probes there, funnily. Only 7 probes throughout all of this, and I think that was 7 from the first
Yeah,
fight.
that's weird.
5 Ultralists now on the way, with pretty decent upgrades coming in. We don't have very many Immortals, there's only 2. There's 4 High Templar, but it looks like they're for Storm, and a second Robo thrown down.
Okay, he's on to what Targa's doing. Adrenal Glance is finishing. 2-2 for Melee is finished. Chitin Displating for Ultras is coming, and those 5 Ultras will really buffer this army very well. It's going into full macro mode, guys.
All right,
Dark
so
Shrine, second Robo, charge, +3.
surely MC's got to look to take a 4th soon then, if he's looking to play this out long.
He should like to. His main is going to run out in a minute or a minute and a half or so.
But this move from MC, Warp Prism in the main, army to the right-hand side. Where are the Ultras if these get fungled?
This is a great position for Targa. As you said, those fungal growths from the high ground, Infested will be pretty safe if he splits up his army on both sides. It's going to be very scary for MC. He has to recall out here. I think he can't take
he's
the
going to
fight
have
here.
to recall out. He doesn't want to lose this army. He sees it, and he does get out of there. Ooh, loses a Colossus, though, but does kill off the 4th base of his opponent while continuing to warp in inside the main base. So right now, MC is ramping up the pressure a little bit, but he's still without a 4th base of his own. As you said, the main base is running out. And that will really aid him to continue to be able to make his units and replenish what he loses.
Now, there's a lot of Zealots here, and this could be a little bit of wasted resources here. There's 1 Ultra, there's a bunch of Roaches. They're going to kill this without losing anything. He's losing a few drones, though. But really, this is good for Targa. What is this, like 1,200 lost resources to kill 5 drones?
Yeah, it's a little bit funky play here from MC, and Targa's actually scouted the 4th base. He's like, hold, you don't have a new base yet? Okay, all right, cool, that's good for me. But a Dark Templar does get warped in there, and the Fungal and a couple of Infested Terrans with the Link support will clean it up, as well as the Warp Prism probably going to get picked off. But MC is going to send 4 Zealots to the right-hand side. MC is building an army that's looking to win the game.
Yeah.
Because very simply, if he doesn't have a 4th base, there's no way he's replacing what he loses.
And somehow I still feel like I'm very scared for Targa here. I still feel like MC could just go ahead and do it. Despite all the things that Targa's doing right, the army composition he's getting, Broodlords, MC has a 1-punch army that really packs a punch.
It really does. +3 attack is done for them, the highest attack upgrade they can get. There's 2 Immortals. I suppose they're going to be the last 2 units that MC waits for here before he goes out for that 1 Falcon Punch. And is it going to work?
I was going to say he's not even getting armor upgrades, but there we go.
All right, armor upgrade as well here. So Targa is set up now, so he's got Broodlords behind his Ultralisk, and they're going to be very difficult to get to. If Fungal's locked the Stalkers down, he doesn't really have anything to touch the Broodlords, and with +3 melee on the way, going to deal a lot of damage. With a couple of Infestors who get picked off here there to keep the Stalkers back away from this Broodlords, and quite of them do go down.
There are only 4 Infestors left. There are 12 Stalkers. They will be crucial to take down the Broodlords. There's 5 of them. Ultralisk getting stormed. It's almost like they don't feel it, but Immortals, yes, oh, do they feel Immortals hitting them.
Oh, wow, MC just, you know, Falcon punching through the Ultras now, and the Stalkers do remain. They need to blink forward to get to the Broodlords. There's a big jump forward. One of the Broodlords will get picked off, but Targa is taking a lot of damage here. But likewise is MC, both of them trading up, but 82 Zerglings, 2 more Ultras, and the upgrade's going to come in. Can they deal with what MC has left? Remember that there's no 4th base for MC. It's going to be very hard for him to replenish a lot of solid units here. But that punch was strong. There's a lot of Immortals left over. Here come the Zerglings. Where are the Ultralists? 3-3 almost done for them here. Targa is down in supply, and MC continue to warp in. DT's doing a lot there, but in come the Zerglings. And oh, bye-bye Immortals. And that 1 Colossus goes down as well. And what a scrappy fight between these 2 players.
Wow, Targa went from being 30 supply down to finishing all those units off. These Zerglings were very well versed to dealing with all those Immortals and that single Colossus. Now MC starting to make more Immortals, but he's just up against mostly a lot of Zerglings, and they've got 3-3 and Adrenal Glance.
Wow, I mean, surely Targa, I mean, despite being down in supply, he's lost a lot of drones, so his army value is actually rather large at this point.
Wow, look at Targa. His 3rd base wasn't mining. The drones weren't mining. The 4th base died. He's got 39 drones against 71 probes. MC is mining 1.5 times as much, despite getting starved for minerals in his main and natural.
Oh, very smart move here from MC to go over to Archons. They're going to absolutely destroy the Zergling count that Targa has here. With the Zealots, he does have 2. So MC is now just kind of rebuilding up a little bit. And even though Targa did rather well there, he doesn't quite have the economy to replenish, even though MC's down in his main base. He's running out of natural resources as well. I mean, surely MC's building an army that may not be able to be stopped.
Yeah, here comes the second punch.
Off 3 bases all game long as well.
Yeah. That's really MC style, isn't it?
It is, MC.
Squeezes a lot of
base play.
Squeezes a lot of units out of few bases.
Is there any way that Targa can stop this?
It will be very hard. He'll need good positioning. He'll need a full surround. There's 26 Zealots. They are the brunt of MC's army. And Zerglings are better than Zealots at this stage. They got better upgrades, but it's the Archons that will do a lot of splash damage. If the Archons don't die soon, they'll do a lot of damage. There goes down one Archon. The Ultralisk doing massive damage on the Zealots.
And somehow Targa must be looking at this game and saying, how are you affording all these units off 3 bases for 25 minutes in the game? And MC is 160 supply versus 93. And Targa played a very good game here, but it looks like it's coming to an end. The Archon survived, as you said. There's a bunch of Zealots, and Targa drops below 100 supply here. And no matter how hard he tried in this game, MC pushes forward and it looks to claim 2 maps in a row against the Norwegian Zerg. And a final attack comes in here from Targa. And is he going to be able to do enough? Doesn't look like it with the amount of Zealots that are coming in. They're just going to destroy absolutely everything here. And well, Targa's army has gone. And MC stands strong with a flag in one hand. And well, a chicken leg in the other, because that was pretty easy, and that's how MC does it. And takes map number 2. So, I mean, what are the crucial points of what we just saw here from MC and Targa?
I think if all the action that was happening was that one fight, Targa will lose the first fight, win the second, maybe game over. But he lost a lot of economy during all that. I think there were DTs that we missed. We can't look at everything. I mean, as soon as players decide they're going to fight in 4 different places at once, we're going to need like quad screen to catch all the action. I think there were DTs in Targa's bases. I think there were Zealot run-bys. I think hatcheries died, drones died. And with all that, Targa didn't have enough economy to do a 3rd remax, a 3rd production cycle after that first big fight. So,
do you think that it was a cost-efficient enough fight from Targa?
Could be better.
Could be better.
He lost 3 infestors running away from the army. He had 7. He needed them. He needed 5 Broodlords, and he needed everything to fight at the same time. 5 Broodlords, the 8 Ultralisks he had, the Zerglings he had, 112 or so, 7 infestors, but very nice blink forward with some of those Stalkers. Killed some infestors, and then there wasn't enough Fungals on the Stalkers, and he could actually start taking down some Broodlords.
So, of course, now it's Targa that's trailing 0-2 against MC, and he's going to have to need to win 3 games in a row. From what you've seen from Targa and what you've seen from MC, does Targa have it within him, from the skill that he's displayed in game 1 and 2, to go over to this next map to make a comeback possible?
Well, this would be the map to do it if this was going to happen for Targa. He definitely has the skill, but he needs to keep his skill up consistently across the whole game, because being more skilled than the opponent isn't what's going to win it in this series. It's going to be making less mistakes. Or maybe you can say that's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can both play at a high level, but making no mistakes the whole game long, that's really what's important here. And so far, it seems that MC can turn the game into victory, whether he's behind or ahead.
Well, a lot of Protoss players throughout this season, and even last season, with the map vetoes that they have initially in the round of 16, the 2 map vetoes they have, Derrila watches a map against a player like Targa or another Zerg player you'd probably eliminate. But there's only 1 veto here in a best of 5, so he had to choose between this and another worse map that he didn't want to play on.
Took out Polar Knight.
Polar Knight.
Just like Stardust, because when you take that 3rd, you're way out there in no man's land. It's like you can't even see your home base.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming out here in the crowd. I hope you've been having a good time this afternoon. I've been having a great time. I hope you have as well, Grubby.
Of course, you know it.
And everyone on stream as well. Hope you've been enjoying it too. Make sure to send your tweets in. Any tweet you send regarding this tournament or things you enjoy, things you want to say, make sure to include a hashtag WCS. You may even get featured on the show. We've had a couple of tweets already featured, and maybe the next one could be yours if it's good enough to impress production, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. But going into Derelict Watcher now, is there any things that maybe MC needs to be careful about against a player like Targa coming into this map?
He already fended off 1 10 pool. He already played once against the hatchery first and into a spawning pool. Maybe Targa will bust out triple hatchery sometime. Maybe he has to be careful of that. Extreme greed.
Do you reckon that MC could predict and maybe set up, because he's in a very comfortable position, he could easily deal with that with multiple setups, right? If he's able to see it early.
Well, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Does Targa want to continue as he has, or does he want to verge more extremely into a direction that, in the sense that if I can't do it normally, I want to go crazy?
All right, well, let's see if crazy happens here. It could be either one of them. Targa needs something special to make the comeback start. MC could do it crazy because he has a 2-game advantage. Let's find out as we do get ready to load in to the next map between these two players. Been quite a one-sided day so far. Is it time for that to change? So, up here in the top right, 3rd time in a row now, spawning as the red Zerg player, playing for Team Dignitas. Norwegian Zerg, it's Targa. Fantastic season so far for him. Really putting a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces with his results. But another player that always makes everybody laugh and smile at his games, playing for Team SK, it's MC.
And I'll tell you what, Sean, we're seeing a stronger MC this weekend than we saw last week.
I agree.
Last week's MC scrounged by. He squeezed through a small hole. It was hard.
And it can be hard for MC to squeeze through small holes sometimes.
Yes.
And he found a way.
He found a way, as MC does, finding ways.
But he is looking very dominant here, isn't he?
A lot better, yeah.
I really think that over the last year or so, because his results have not been as good as they used to be. He is the highest earning StarCraft 2 player. He's multiple champion across many different continents. And I think it's finally hit him. I think he wants it back again.
Yeah.
And he's really putting in a lot of effort. He's starting to look at his own faults in Season 2. He identified that he was being overly aggressive in Season 3. Now coming into this, he's talked about how that he has just not been practicing as hard. And he's currently, as you said, performing very well here today.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's finally hitting him. Like, it's hurting his pride a little bit, that people are assuming that he isn't MC anymore. He isn't quite, there, and doesn't like accepting that. So I think he put in the hours in the last week or so.
And well, I think when you were switching over to StarCraft 2 yourself and learning the game, I'm pretty sure MC must have been a player that you looked up to.
Yes.
But in 2013, is MC the same player that a lot of the Protoss look up to? And I don't think it is anymore.
I don't think they look down on him either.
I don't think they look down on him.
Far from it, except maybe like physically in length sometimes. But for the most part, of course, MC is a shining example to the Protoss race. He did it when people didn't think Protoss could, that kind of thing. Not quite like Bizu and Brood War maybe, but yeah, MC was winning stuff when Protoss was thought to be the weakest race, and he won 2 GSLs.
He's a very strong competitor and is looking to get to the final once again.
I was very taken with MC when I was staying at the OGS house, old school generation or something.
It's OGS, Old Generations.
Old Generations, yes.
OGS, Old
Generations. They had a Korean team house. It was a team that competed early on in the GSL. MC was part of it. And I stayed in their team house for a while. I was sitting right behind MC and spent a lot of time watching him when I wasn't playing. Of course, he was very fast, very good force fields, learned a lot from him, and he was very hardworking.
Well, maybe he's getting back to that now, and we'll see if he can close this up 3-0. Would be a fantastic result for him moving on. He wanted to play against Targa when we had the bracket drawing.
Did he?
He did. He did before it was drawn. He said he wanted to play Targa.
WCS, where dreams come true.
Where dreams come true. And we'll see if that dream can come true for MC. So close, but so far last season, finishing in 2nd place, just 1 map away. And here is a tweet that got featured. It's from Mouse Vortex, of course, our 2nd semi-finalist of the day, saying thanks to everyone for cheering for him, for the support. He appreciates a lot, and he felt very confident today. Let's hope he can bring that confidence into tomorrow's games.
Yes.
And we could, for the first time, have a non-Korean champion here in the WCS here at Premier League. But look at this now. We do have a 26 drone Holt for Targa and 14 Zerglings.
And he's not doing that defensively. Or is he? He saw 2 gates. There's double stalkers being produced without warp gate research, so that's a little unusual. But
there's no Zergling speed on the way, remember? So
yeah.
It's just now started.
There we go. So initially it's going to be defensively. Yeah, it's just defensive. Okay, so he felt like he needed this against the amount of units that's coming out.
And look at that. MC dancing around with the Stalker off creep, and the Zerglings can't get close here. Now they do turn around and engage. The Mothership Core offering quite a lot of damage here to these units as well. But Targa will push this back for now. Was droning throughout all of this, by the way, and has built 2 Comfort Roaches.
Comfort Roaches.
Comfort Roaches. He may have to have a couple of Comfort Zerglings to help and aid them out too, as there is an Overlord that could be threatened there out in the open.
Yeah, I think that Overlord has a death warrant on his head.
Yeah, unfortunately so. And 12 extra Zerglings coming in. A Queen does come down, and oh, the Overlord does survive for now. Great micro here from MC, just doing a lot with a little.
Yeah, keeps making probes, making a sentry at home. Warp Gate is finishing. No follow-up tech yet from MC, although he has the resources for it. Quite busy with that micro. Let's see what he's going to be choosing to be doing, to be building. There we go with the Robo. And
on a map like this, though, what is her? I mean, how do you play with a Robo here?
Yeah, it's not the best one for straight-up Immortal all-in. We could see a Warp Prism. Could see a Warp Prism.
Could it be very fast Colossus into a third to start it earlier?
I don't think it's very good, but of course we could see it, because as long as you have a plan with something and it's a tested plan and it works, you know, that's all the justification you need. But I think it could be an Immortal or a Warp Prism.
Okay. Well, behind this now we do have Targa finally being able to push MC back, and is droning up now.
3 games in a row, MC succeeded to let Targa make a lot of units when he didn't want to yet.
Yeah. There is the Immortal, by the way, being made, as well as 2 other gateways. Hallucinating Phoenix now just been made for MC, who is going to send out and get some more information on what his opponent's doing. Hasn't even really seen anything apart from these units that pushed him away from the third. Sentry count is nice and high here, 6 currently for MC. 7, actually, excuse me.
Now, interestingly, MC is going to 5 gateways. He's getting a cannon, and he's also got 50 probes already and building more. So does he want to make it look like an Immortal all-in and then make a 3rd Nexus anyway? Or is he just going to make a 3rd period? Let's see. Overlord comes in.
He's looking for that, perfectly on time here. Targa's unit production has begun as well.
So now he doesn't see a 3rd Nexus, and he's like, you came here to clear it, to make me think like you're making a 3rd, but you're actually going to do an all-in. But actually he's going to make him think he does a 3rd, then he's going to make him think he does an all-in, and then he's going to take a 3rd anyway.
Hashtag mind games. So he's going to push this back, this Overlord. But Targa, as mentioned, started his unit production, but now immediately, upon seeing the units up there, is confident that this is going to be a 3rd base, and starts 15 more drones extra on top of that. So a lot of drones. He's currently at 60. It'll push him all the way up to 74. And he'll be in a very, very comfortable position here. But with the lack of robotics bay, how dangerous is a lot of Roaches and Hydralisks with +1 attack on the way?
Not for a while. For about 2 to 3 minutes, MC, I think, is going to be completely fine, because Targa doesn't have the bank to make scary amounts of Hydralisks. And after 3 minutes, he could have Colossi already if he starts the Robo Bay in a minute. So I think MC is in a fantastic position. Targa is making a Spire. A Spire.
Oh, really?
It's making a Spire.
And he's seen the majority of this army composition. He has seen it is a mortal Stalker base.
There we go, 4 extra gateways. This is going to be a massive 3-base Stalker, Sentry, Immortal composition. 4th Immortal coming up. And small amounts of Mutalisks are going to be trash against this army, completely useless. And Corruptors, obviously, with the absence of a Robobay, do not serve a function. So what Targa needs, really, is 200 supply Roaches, Hydras. 30 Roaches, 30 Hydras, and then it'll still be somewhat challenging for him.
Well, he's about to go take a 4. Hallucinated Phoenix goes into the main base here, looking to see what he can find. Nothing too much, more Hydralisks being made. He has spotted the Spire on that 3rd base. Warp Prism has started, Grubby. As you mentioned, we should be seeing an attack come out soon from MC. Is there any way that he doesn't attack?
I think he's going to wait a little bit to get some economy, 1 or 2 more Warpins, and then go. I feel like if he goes now, he's going to have to use a lot of force fields really early just to protect himself. Whereas if he goes in a minute or 2, he will use a lot of force fields to destroy the opponent's army, which is going to be a lot better.
By the way, Targa really hasn't seen too much, but just upon seeing your opponent's composition start an Immortal so early, seeing the high Stalker count, you're always on your tiptoes. You already know that he can move out at any point, because he will probably have a large gateway count. He's not afraid of Colossus in this game, otherwise we'd see the Spire being used. He knows it's heavy Stalkers now, he sees the movement out, and Target is on a decent unit composition. Lots of ground units, a great surround of units here, but can he make the engagement work? He has to have a perfect engagement, and so far it's beautifully set up. Look at the north here. The Zerg is set and ready to pounce.
Yeah, Targa's really, really good at this. Wow. Has been for a long time. He has a very nice spread around. Zergling's going into the main base of MC, and here we come. A little bit disjointed from Targa. Small part of his army coming in first, but he does have the spread. Beautiful force fields from MC, but Targa still 200 supply, making new Hydralisks.
Wow, Targa smashes through it. The Immortals are gone. The Hydralisks are going crazy. Whoa!
Oh.
GG from Targa, beautiful. Excellent setup there, and dealt with that very, very, very well.
So what happened? What happened, Sean?
The comeback begins on Derelict Watcher.
7:30 p.m. Standard Central East.
At 7:30, a series that was going one way and one way alone, as SKMC took a 2-0. But one man to define the odds of time was Dignitas Targa, who makes the comeback. Or at least starts it.
I want to see this movie. I want to see the rest.
Sick movie. All right, now game on. Excellent from Targa, and that must be a really good confidence boost there too.
Yeah, I mean, he got the Spire just in case. Saw it was a normal army. Didn't make any more wrong decisions. Just mass Hydras and beautiful surround. Targa's really very meticulous about spreading his units out in 5 different pockets so he can come from every direction. And I thought MC knew something I didn't in terms of using force fields on Derelict Watcher, because basically you're gonna have to do 360 force fields, like 360 degrees force field.
Donut force fields.
Well, you donut yourself, but it didn't work. Like
You're the best part of that donut.
Okay.
Well, you just gave me was great.
You guys didn't see the look Sean just gave me. So.
All right, so Frost is the next map here, Grubby. As a Protoss player, you've just lost Derelict Watcher. Is it still just like, all right, slate's clean, I'm still leading, 2-1? Is that what you think going into this?
No, well, I don't know. I think you're going to be thinking about the map and hope that you don't get cross-map, because that's the hardest for Protoss. If it's not cross-map, you can do some kind of aggressive push.
All right, it's time to begin this potential epic comeback. As this guy down here just won the last one. Can he continue on? Can tie the series up. Playing for Team Dignitas from Norway, it's Dignitas Targa. The Santa Glory Zerg. And he goes up against a player that, to be honest, really does not need an introduction. As the blue Protoss playing for SK Gaming, it's the boss toss, MC. What are you smiling at?
The surprise shots from the crowd, and then people are like, "Oh, I'm on camera." All right, so pylon at the natural for MC, and he's scouting early. Are we gonna see the same as what he did on Whirlwind? Forge at 14-15 supply and send out a second probe to scout. And what is Targa doing?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Would MC ever go for a cannon rush here if he was to see the hatchery first?
I think he would, and I think he will.
All right, double probes going out here. This is a very large map. MC could have very easily just gone Nexus first. There's no need to get the Forge down super early here. And I don't think that he's thinking along the lines of Targa would do something incredibly early and crazy with the spawning pool, not when he's playing from behind in a position like this. So MC's going to go now. He's found his opponent. The second probe already changed. It's already changed. It's coming down. It's not going home.
Double probe, and it's not going to do 5 damage a hit.
16 supply spawning pool, by the way, not 15, which is the usual here. He has built another drone on top, and MC's got double probes, and he's gonna cannon rush him.
There we go, gonna squeeze out there with mineral walk. Second pylon, there's a third pylon coming up.
Wow.
And that's not a full wall off yet. Oops. Now drone, don't fall for this. You gotta keep one drone in there. He didn't keep a drone in there.
And that's a full wall now.
Now it's a full wall.
Okay.
So this is not a cost-efficient type of cannon rush. He already built 5 buildings. No, 6.
Targa's already, tilting his head a little bit there. Yeah. He can't surely break through this.
Well, he doesn't need to. This is 7 buildings being built, some of which were cancelled, a lot of which finished. cancel the hatch and expand in 2 different places, you're gonna be so far ahead.
But with all these drones, if they're not mining...
He needs to stop trying to break through and just build hatches somewhere else.
Oh, his income's terrible. The hatchery completes here. He's going to try and save it. He's building a spine crawler.
This is not a good anti-cannon rush defense by TarGA.
And, well, TarGA has lost a lot of money. He's got 2 spine crawlers, a queen on the way. MC is going to expand behind this. You know, slowly but surely he'll do it. And, well, TarGA is in trouble, and I don't think he expected the comeback. That awesome movie, that awesome trailer we just witnessed, I didn't think it was meant to go like this.
Sometimes the trailers are a lot better than the real movie. They show all the best moments already.
And, well, 19 supply for TarGA. He's in trouble. And more cannons coming down for MC, who's saying, dude, right, you're trying to defend it, aren't you? And he even cancels that spine, saying, well.
It's going to be very clever if he just forgets about this hatch now. Cancel the spine.
Well, no.
Move the spine, move it. This was a huge investment from MC. Okay, there we go.
So he's re-expanded here.
Too late, but still has a chance.
All right. Obviously, it's his chances of winning have been cut down a little bit here. But it's still possible. Anything is possible in a game like StarCraft. We'll have to find out now. Can TarGA make it possible?
Well, first thing he has to do is find the opponent. Still doesn't know where MC is.
And there is the Nexus on the way now.
Still doesn't know. Now he knows.
Yeah, he knows. And this is going to be obviously a wall-off here for MC. Will lock himself in onto his 2 bases from this position. So, as a professional Protoss player who you are, Grubby, after a successful cannon rush like this, where are the angles that you prefer to play from? Like maybe you personally, maybe what we see from a lot of Protoss players. Do you like to follow up with an execution-style finish move? Do you like to play it out long?
You want my honest answer or a filthy lie?
Honest answer. You tell me the dirty story.
I don't know, actually. I don't know how to follow up after that.
The honest answer is I don't know the answer. Because you never cannon rush. Good guy, Grubby.
Yeah, of course, never.
Never.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's just, I have principles, you know?
So, okay, theoretically.
Yeah, no, I cannon rush, actually.
Oh,
you asked for honesty, so okay, I cannon rush. But to be honest, I don't know if you should follow up with, you know, normal 2-base, prolonged tech and econ, or an all-in. I think it depends very much on the situation, the exact way that things went. And the way that things went now is that their base, their hatchery and the Nexus was actually at the same time. And that's not too bad for TarGA, but the core timing is a lot earlier than you would normally see if it's like Nexus first against Hatch first. So in a sense, yes, MC is ahead, but really I don't know what's the best way to use it. But I think he will show us, because he excels in this kind of situation.
He's chrono boosting a lot into the Cyber Core. He's also started that +1 attack. Bear in mind that TarGA did see the +1 attack start. Hasn't seen, well, maybe he was able to gather the information that the Cyber Core was getting chrono boosted into, and has started 8 Zerglings. I guess those 8 Zerglings, considering he only has 2, and maybe to find the probe and pylon while he continues to drone up a little bit more to help his economy a little bit more.
But the funny thing is, MC, if he warps in at the 4 cannons on the natural, he's in a prime position to force field the main base, which cuts off effectively, well, at this point, 50% of his production. Once the 3rd hatch finishes, still going to be more than the 3rd hatch because there isn't a queen there. So still, 35 to 50% of TarGA's production can be locked behind that main ramp.
He let that spine crawler die too earlier on. That could be used now.
Yeah, because if you uproot it, it doesn't take damage off of creep anymore. So yeah, that was a mistake. Now MC is making 4 extra gateways, going to 5, so he doesn't need a proxy pylon. He already has 2 defended by 4 cannons.
I hope that TarGA's realized that obviously there's still cannons and probes, cannons and pylons on his natural here, because he's moving around looking for these units and stuff on the other side.
It's like, but I forgot about the ones in my natural.
I forgot about those.
Oh yeah, didn't clear them up yet.
And now TarGA's in a bit of a difficult situation. He's actually building spine crawls on his 3rd base when... And even MC's showing the threat on the 3rd, but of course we know that a couple of Zealots... Alright, imagine a scenario where he sent the Zealots into the main base and then attacked the 3rd. The big distance between both bases...
Yeah, what does he do? He doesn't have enough
It's almost impossible to stop.
And Stalkers can even poke from the high ground, so TarGA needs to draw far away from his main, necessarily, to defend.
Yeah, well, the Queens get slaughtered inside the main base here. The drones will follow. The Zealots have +1 attack. Here's the real assault coming in from MC. 2 spine crawls will help. But how much will they help here? As MC powers forward with all these gateways, with all these Zealots, another spine crawler will fall here. And Targa is trying to hold on, but things are looking a little bit dire here for the Norwegian Zerg. He's had a great season so far, but it could be coming to an end here as MC powers forward, and he's going to get towards this drone line, and he is, as the drones come off to fight, and things are looking bad.
The army size for MC is now just about equal. It's equal now, and it looks like Targa might hold, but he has half the workers that MC does. In fact, he has less than half the workers. No, he doesn't. He has half.
Oh, that's a terrible position to be in here.
Yeah.
He's trying to recover, but he had to use so much of his economy to make that hold possible, using the drones as combat units here. And well, the threat is still always going to be there from MC from that naturally. He's thrown down the robotics filter, but all the numbers are in favor of MC here. Higher worker supply. The army supply doesn't matter for now because he's not fighting, but he is building up, by the looks of it, maybe just a second attack here.
Yeah.
Immortals and go again.
Yeah,
Hammer down.
why not? Why not, really? I mean, you can do that to keep your opponent honest or to outright kill him. And Targa would prefer not to be honest right now, in the sense that he'd like to close his eyes and just make drones for 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be his best bet to get back into this game, because he's on 35 drones to 44 probes. And MC is not making any more right now, staying on the ideal 2-base all-in type amount of probes. Saved up a lot of gas during all that. It's going up to 10 sentries.
It's a lot of sentries, man.
And now roaches are going to be going down just to clear these cannons up.
And he is losing a roacher or two there to these cannons. They are starting to clear it up, but behind this we do have the first Immortal on its way. A couple of gateways coming. With all the sentries here, it looks like he's going for a big attack. Targa's now finally getting to a decent drone count again. He's at 41 with 9 more on the way. He's going to go to 50, which is rather comfortable, but is it too much? Is MC going to come across the map very soon when there's not much left for Targa in terms of his army?
Normally you want 62 drones, but I think now he has to stay on 50 and make army. If he doesn't, he'll never have enough time to catch up with the army.
Well, I think we're going to see a movement out very, very shortly here from MC. As Targa has started his unit production as well as 3 overlords to make sure he's okay. MC slaps down a couple of pounds to unsupply block himself, but here comes the push down. There's still a... hold on a second. There's still a probe down the bottom right, so we can obviously build a new pylon and continue the assault from this location. Targa is in a very bad position. He obviously wants to be 30, 40, 50 supply ahead at this point when you're about to take a fight against an Immortal push.
Oh, yeah.
But he's behind 10 supply here, trying his very best to get as many units out as possible. It's 0-0 upgrades versus 1-1, +1 attack. No, actually, no, there's no +1 attack. No, there is, sorry. +1 attack and +1 armor. And
yeah. Wow.
This is going to be hard. Can he do it?
MC fans are getting ready to rejoice. Targa fans are holding their hair in despair. Roach speed is not on the field, which makes it even harder for roaches to engage this army.
And look at that, evacuation already called on the 3rd as Targa says, I need more time, I just need more time, please.
Oh.
But MC just comes in with so many units and is looking at another semi-final, just like Season 2. Could be repeating that here in Season 3 with just one game, just one more fight, one good fight. Target's spreading out, but the spread is there. The force fields are going to keep these units away, and MC powers forwards unlimited amount of force fields at this point. And here they come, slapping them down. And MC says, yes, I am here. I'm going to the semi. Good series, my friend, but not good enough. And MC will go to the semifinals and is our 3rd player there today.
Indomitable performance by MC. Strong cannon rush. Well played there from Targa. And unfortunately for Targa, this means he cannot advance further into the semifinals, into the WCS, but he still does have that chance. With 2 consecutive victories tomorrow, he can still qualify for Canada. And for an ambitious player like Targa, that's all to fight for still.
Yeah, so of course today is done for Targa, but a fighting day tomorrow, just like the other 2 losses, the other 2 players that we had earlier on. Do get that chance for that 5th slot. Of course, 5 players from this region will get the chance to go and compete in the Season 3 finals. And we're getting closer and closer to the players that have qualified and already gone. We've got 3 players now definitely representing Europe in the Season 3 finals. And that's a massive feat. And of course, not just to be able to represent, because I'm pretty sure right now, maybe they're like, oh, cool, yeah, we're going to Season 3 finals. But I think everybody's got their eye on the final prize here to get to that 1st place, to claim what could rightfully be theirs.
Yeah, and also just to take a look at the season finals, these players, like, they want to represent Europe, but they probably also want to do well, right? Like, thus far, players that qualified through the Europe server haven't necessarily gone extremely far yet in the season finals. So it would be a chance now to show that our region, which is very volatile, a lot of different players win, it's very competitive, but can they do well in Canada in the season finals?
That's right. So we have 3 players now. Vortex is qualified to represent Europe. We have Genius and now MC, the 3rd person. So let's hear from that 3rd qualifier. Take it away in control.
All right, thank you, Apollo and Grubby. I'm standing here with SK MC. You just won 3-1. The games were a little bit interesting. I want to ask you about that first game. Was it the first game? I think it was. The one with the slow Nexus. Were you thinking about something else? Were you planning on maybe a 4 or 5 gate and then you scouted, or no?
I think in Whirlwind, I use Nexus first all the time. So I think Targa snipe first Nexus. So I try 2 scouting and first support. So I think I'm winning. So it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Now the rest of the series went pretty well for you. You did on one map a really silly move out on that Derelict Watcher. What were you thinking?
I think Targa never back attack juggling, so I'm just open my gate, no Gillard wall. So, but he tried back attack jugglings. So I saw jugglings in my base, so warping Jarlas. This time he attacked to me, so I thought, oh my god, no post spear, no time warp, so I lose.
Okay. Well, the rest of the series did go your way. Now this does set up your opponent. It's going to be Genius. And in the previous interview, Genius said that you don't dress well. He said that he's a better basketball player than you and that you have a poor sense of taste. Do you have any words for Genius?
If I win round 4, please change your name. Stupid.
To stupid?
Yeah. He's not genius. He's not genius. So he needs change stupid.
Wow, it's okay. Thank you very much. Sure. Got a lot of fans out here. They're rooting for you. They're saying the boss toss. They want to see you win again. BlizzCon, other tournaments coming down this year. What does this tournament mean for you? I know that in your interview you talked a lot about how for a while your motivation did suffer. You were having a tough time. But it seems like you're playing very well now. You're in the swing of things. Claris, just before this interview, was saying, wow, you look really amazing. Is winning this tournament your goal, or have you already reached your goal? Where do you want to go with this?
I'm just enjoying now, so champion, runner, doesn't matter for me, because if I focus champion, I will make so many stress. So just enjoying, and enjoying is make fun games. So I will try just enjoying, so my fans just enjoying.
All right, very much. Thank you very much, FC. And you do have a lot of fans here. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to shoot over to the analyst desk with Claris.
Thanks very much, guys. I'll tell you something. MC certainly makes a stake for the claim of being called genius after seeing that series. After watching him throughout the entire season, he played this series so insanely well, really reading into his opponent and preparing so meticulously for it, especially in that 4th game where he anticipated what was going to happen there. But with this, we're going to go into Game 2 and have a quick look once again at this engagement and what unfolded elsewhere on the map as well, just to go over like what we were seeing from Targa, as well as the side from MC here. Now, obviously, there was a lot unfolding in this game, and Targa managed to get himself quite a decent army composition. But during all of this, there are a few absolute key moments that were already highlighted by our casters as to what exactly was going on. So if we just kind of roll forwards a little bit, obviously these 3 infestors, it's a big deal to actually lose these 3 infestors so easily. And just going into this engagement as a whole, Targa really did not want to take this engagement in this position. As we can see, all his units aren't really in the most advantageous of positions when going into this engagement. MC does pull back a little bit because he knows the surround is going to end up coming. And Targa, for the most part, did get a very, very good surround during this fight, but it still wasn't enough with the great usage of storms that we saw from MC during all of this. Of course, they do trade blow for blow, but this isn't really where the main focus of MC is in terms of actually changing the game. Obviously, he needs to take a good engagement, but what is happening over the other side of the map, of course, is 3 DTs working their way, and for the most part, Targa was just not reacting to this at all, and that's why we saw 39 workers had been lost. Now, if the engagement had happened down to the bottom left-hand side, and he hadn't have lost all of those drones to 3 Dark Templar, if there have been a few spine crawlers there or and a spore crawler, then of course there would have been a much, much better economy behind this for Targa, and he may have been able to play out the game a lot further. But again, when we come back to this engagement, as he lost the Broodlords before, this was never the position that Targa wanted to take this engagement in. He was trying, if he could have got those 6 Broodlords out and had a proper engagement position, his army would have been much, much better against what we saw there from MC. So, guys, that's going to wrap up my little tidbit on this game and this series. Congratulations to MC advancing on. I know a lot of people are looking forward to MC versus Genius. And now we send it over to Jeff In Control Robinson and Sean Apollo Clark.
Thank you, Kalaris. We're over here at the social media desk. We've been checking up on you guys, sending in some artwork, some really good stuff. Again, you just hashtag WCS and then send in some StarCraft 2 related fan art. Also, just a general reminder to you guys, so far there is not a thread on Team Liquid about my hair. There's also not a thread about my hair on several other forums, so I didn't get this thing for nothing. If people aren't talking about it, I start to feel insecure about myself, Paul. This guy knows. Remember when you got a haircut and it was all over Reddit?
Happens to the best of us in Control, and it really is worth a thread.
At least a thread. At least a thread. So that's going on. That's going to be going on all weekend long. You can have a chance to win a collector's edition StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm box, undropped by Red Eye, stroked by Apollo, which of course ups its value by quite a bit. It's also going to be signed by all the players and all the casters. Make sure and check that out. But we also have some other things to talk to you guys about right now. If you can go to my screen. Right now, you can actually play what is called the Starter Edition of StarCraft, and this will allow you to play all 3 of the races for the month of October as a celebration of going back to school. And all you have to do, okay, we built this demo for you guys. Are you ready for this? This is on Battle.net. You go down to StarCraft, and you click on the play for free that'll normally be there when you make a new account. Pretty cool stuff. And that is the entire, that's the tutorial. That's what we had planned, Apollo. So go ahead. Yep, there we are. Back to us. And then Apollo's going to load something up while I jabber at you.
Yeah, we want to do the Rocket thing again. You know, the Rocket thing where you can win a keyboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump over in a second here to have a look at the Rocket Facebook page once again. So if you didn't already see it earlier on, you go to www.facebook.com/Rocket and go to their website and basically look at their Facebook page. And if we take a look here, it's very easy because as soon as you get to that page, there's a massive Damaga face. Yeah, that guy.
Thank you.
And if you don't know who that is, then that's Damaga.
It's Carmack, but with talent in playing games.
Yes. And all you need to do is go to that page, go to that post, like the page first of all, then comment with who you think is going to win the WCS, the World Championship Series, Europe Premier League. Who's going to be the #1 player? If you guess correctly, that Damaga keyboard is not his anymore.
What about all the people that predicted winners that were then eliminated in this last round?
Sorry.
So. But don't be discouraged, because you could just go like it again on another Facebook account that you use to stalk your ex-girlfriends and then post in the thread saying, I think someone else is going to win. But the point is, as Too Good would say, you know, God rest his soul, post with as many Facebook accounts as you possibly can on this. Like it as many times as you can.
Increases your odds.
It increases your odds. It's a pretty
I don't know
good deal.
the ruling. We might have to check that.
Yeah.
But it increases your odds from the basic standpoint. Good luck.
They don't police that kind of a thing. Like it as many times as you can. So that's it for us at the social media desk. We're going to be doing this all weekend long. We're going to set up that next match, ladies and gentlemen. So that means we need to take a few minutes of a break. Go up, get yourself some drinks, do some exercise.
Like the Facebook page.
Like the Facebook page. Buy some StarCraft, and we'll check back with you in about 5 minutes.